but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro say, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we.
We have Mr. Sherman Sharp here, just performed his civic duty. How you feel about voting today, Mr. Sharp?
Oh, outstanding, and happy to be able to vote and to vote at the same place where Senator Carl Levin used to vote until he made his transition last Thursday. And I'm sure he would have been here, but we're here to, do the thing that we need to do to support our community.
Absolutely. Well, okay, one of the main issues is Proposal P. What's your feeling on Proposal P? How did you vote?
Well, I voted for Proposal P, although, we've had, so many inklings that, this will cause the city to go into bankruptcy again by 2024. But overall, I opted to vote for Proposal P because I think that we need some change in our community.
That's a lot of people seem to agree with you. That as far as the mayor's race, can you share with us who you voted for mayor?
Well, I like Mayor Duggan. He's an old friend and everything. And so is Tom Barrow, and so is Anthony Adams, and so I voted for one of them.
We have Miss Mary Waters here, who's a candidate for council, Detroit City Council at large. Why are you seeking this position, Ms. Waters?
Well, that's always a magical question whenever you're running for office, but I can tell you that we are not delivering for Detroiters. That's my main reason for running.
When you say we, who is we?
We, the city council, is not delivering. That means that the city council is sitting at that table. They're acting as though they report to the mayor. We've got to have some checks and balances there.
We have Mr. Daniel Jones here, who just finished his civic duty of voting. Tell me, Mr. Jones, how do you feel about voting today?
I always feel good about voting.
Okay. It wasn't that many issues or candidates on the ballot, primarily Proposal P. How did you vote for Proposal P, if you don't mind my asking?
I voted no.
And why did you vote no on it?
Because first of all, I don't know what the hell it is. Okay. And I couldn't vote yes for something I don't know. And I don't think that the people in Detroit, given all the problems we've had, would vote for something that would bring those problems back.
That's what the commercials definitely, that's the point they got across. But did you get any other information besides the commercials that you heard?
Yeah, I didn't really hear the commercials.
Okay. So where do you get your news from, if you don't mind my asking?
I get some of it from television.
Okay.
As a lifelong resident, I find in Detroit, I try to pick up bits and pieces from everywhere, and from anybody, and from any source. Okay.
That makes sense. So, well, let me ask you this. Would you say there are problems in Detroit?
Can you name me a city where there are not problems?
Okay, so some people would say that the Proposal P, that they spent 2 years developing it, would solve some of the problems. So I guess my question is, if we have problems, if we don't change things, how would the problems be solved?
Well, first of all, you should make all the information aware or available to all the citizens. I shouldn't be standing here telling you I don't know what the hell this is.
That's true.
Okay?
I agree.
Okay, if nobody wants to tell me anything, I'm gonna vote no.
We have Miss Kimberly Brown here with us today. She just voted. Tell us, Miss Brown, what actually brought you out to vote today?
Well, I'm what they call a super voter. I voted every single election since I turned 18.
Okay.
Primaries, national elections, school board, whatever. I come out and vote.
Is it any particular candidate or issue that brought you out today?
Well, I think every candidate and every election is important. So all of the issues that are up to date, Proposal P, and who's going to be our at-large council person, as well as who's going to be the mayor of the city.
Okay. As far as the controversial Proposal P, how did you vote on that, if you don't mind sharing?
I voted no.
You voted no. And
Yes.
can you tell us why?
I believe that the proposal as it is now does not put forth any revenue on how they want to achieve all of the goals they have. So you can't have something that's going to cost millions of dollars, but you have no revenue source of getting those millions. And I don't think the city's in a position to just put forth more electors for the commission, things like that, when we really don't have, we're not strong enough yet just to waste money.
You know, people say that quite a bit of the money, Detroit taxpayers' money, go to corporations as gifts. Could some of those funds be diverted?
I don't think not at this time. No, I don't believe that they do go to corporations as gifts. I mean, if you consider, yeah, they do get tax breaks, but that's the way things are done in America. Capitalists want to make more money, and they want to have resources. And so if they can get those from the taxpayers, and the taxpayers can benefit because you can have a vibrant downtown, then you get more people to move into the city when there are activities, and so that increases the city's tax base. So I think sometimes it does balance itself.
You were aware that the Gilbert, I'm sorry, the Illich family got Detroit public school money.
I've heard that rumor, but
That's not a rumor.
well, I don't know. I didn't research it, but I know school money comes from our tax base and from the state. So how they got that money, I don't know, diverted to them.
Okay.
But GM gets money diverted to them too, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Well, let me ask you, as far as for the mayor's position, who did you support, if you don't mind my asking?
Mike Duggan.
Mike Duggan.
Yes.
And why?
I think he's done a very good job in the his last 2 terms, and I want us to continue on this momentum that we have. And I don't think any of the other candidates have the ability to do that. They can talk about it. Everybody can talk about the problems. I've been living in the city for many, many years. I lived in 1300 back in 1988, and they said the same thing about Coleman Young. He's focusing on downtown. He don't do anything about the neighborhood. So we've been having this argument for 40 years. So
Right.
I think Doug is doing a good job, and I want him to continue.
Okay. As far as gentrification, how do you feel about that?
Well, gentrification has become a dirty word. But if gentrification means that you get new citizens moving into the community and supporting the tax base and increasing the tax base, then I'm for that. But I want all citizens to have the benefits of the good things that can go on in a large city.
And last question, where do you get your news and information from?
NPR and New York Times and the Detroit Free Press.
Okay, thanks you very much for this information, Ms. Jones. Listen, I'm for Mr. Carl Hankins here, who just performed his civic duty of voting today. How'd you feel about voting today, Mr. Hankins?
Like you said, it's my civic duty. I enjoyed it. I'm a government and economics teacher, so
Okay.
I always told my students to vote, my sons vote.
Okay.
It's what we're supposed to do.
Any particular issue that brought you out today, or just voting, period?
Just voting.
Okay.
Just voting.
You know, we have certainly Proposition P was somewhat controversial. How did you vote on that issue, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, with the information that I had, I voted no on it. I really need more time to look at it, though. But I saw good things on either side of the argument. But I decided I would go no on it this time.
Okay. So the research you've done, you said no. Is there any particular issue or proposal or issue on the proposal P in particular that you decided to vote no for?
Well, no, I like most of the issues on the proposal. Where I'm a little shaky is how it will fund it. Should an administration decide to implement. I mean, if a current administration or future administrations don't implement it, then there's no problem. But if they do, how do we pay for that stuff? Because while I enjoy the what it's saying it wants to do, I know that what it's saying it wants to do is going to be costly. So then I was like, well, I'd better err on the side of safety financially speaking.
So would you agree that Detroit has issues like any other major city?
Oh yeah, and then some.
So are you satisfied the way it's operating now?
If you're asking me if I like Mike Duggan, I do. I think he's doing a good job. Coming from where we came from, there are some things I'm not so enthusiastic about in terms of I don't see enough money going out into the neighborhoods for revitalization and blight removal and or things like that. But
so what is he doing good in your mind?
Well, and see, this is the thing. I don't know exactly what all that he is particularly doing or what's already on cruise control with the city. But I see a lot of new construction downtown. Our downtown is world class now.
So you spend a lot of time downtown?
Actually, I don't.
How do you feel about gentrification that's going on in the city?
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but that's one of the issues that I'm having a problem with because I see what's happening is I believe we're being pushed out.
That's fairly obvious to most people. But you say Duggan is the person to solve that?
I'm not saying he's the person to solve it. I'm not saying he's the person who caused it. Okay. We're down there.
And I take it you voted for Mike Duggan?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And kudos to Mr. Adams. He's a good man.
Anthony Adams?
Yes, he's a good man. But I'm of the belief that you don't change until there's a reason to. And a lot of people may disagree with that, but if I saw something with Mike Duggan's administration that I didn't like, I would have no problem voting for somebody else, particularly Mr. Adams.
Okay, we have Lisa here that's voted over here at the Northwest Activity Center. Lisa, tell us why you voted today.
Because it is important to exercise our civic duty and our civic responsibility. We want to make sure that we get the right people in the city of Detroit to take care of everything that we need.
Okay. Any particular issue that you're concerned about?
Yes. I am concerned about, right now, the recklessness that's going on in the city, particularly with like driving, concerned about litter, concerned about my property value and making sure that I'm concerned about the speeders, the speed bumps being put in properly in the neighborhoods. So a few concerns, mostly about safety.
No, that's important. So your position on Proposal P?
That was a tough one. I literally had to do a lot of looking. I have some people who are really political activists on my timeline, on my Facebook. I was trying to follow what they said. I am still not 100% certain, but I did vote yes on it.
Okay. Well, as far as candidates, who do you favor for mayor, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, today, Anthony Adams got my vote. Today. And I'm hoping that we could just get two strong candidates on the November ballot and that he'll have a little more time to kind of get out there and tell us what it is that he plans to do for our city. And I can hear a little more, but I chose him because I want to hear a little bit more about what he has to say and what his plans are.
Okay.
And I thought that he would be the stronger candidate against our incumbent mayor. I don't have, he would be the stronger candidate.
We've talked to a few people, and it seems to be a connection. People who support Duggan don't favor Proposal P. That seems like an interesting connection. But listen, Lisa, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
We have Reverend Tanisha here with us that just finished voting. Reverend Tanisha, tell us why you voted today. So as far as Proposal P, because they addressed that in Proposal P, how did you vote on Proposal P?
I'm not going to tell you how I vote, but I did vote. Okay.
Okay.
And I what was confusing was that I didn't understand Proposal P. You know, they usually give you the pro and the cons of the different proposals and stuff. Somebody come on television and tell you about it. The commercial they had just said that it would take us back, and you know, so I said, okay, well, take us back, bankruptcy and stuff like that.
You know, the Charter Commission had $300,000 allocated to inform people and train people about it, but the council and the mayor reduced it. Were you aware of that?
No.
Okay. So as far as the mayor's race, who are you supporting for the mayor?
Not going to tell you that either, but I voted.
Okay, listen, Reverend Tanisha, we thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Listen, Google Detroit IPT. Okay, we have Angela here who just voted. Miss Angela, can you tell us why you voted today? What was important to you?
Well, after the last general election, it was just extremely important to me to just keep that momentum, to be present in the community at the grassroots levels.
Okay, you say grassroots. Well, listen, when you say grassroots, they certainly supported Proposal P. What's your position on Proposal P? How did you vote?
I voted yes.
And
I did.
Why did you vote yes?
Because the items in that proposal are things that have been necessary for a very long time for the city of Detroit. And I actually grew up here, but I went away for a very long time, and I'm back now for like
Back from where, if you don't mind my asking?
California.
Oh, what part?
Southern, Orange County, yes.
Orange County, okay.
So it was really important for me to try to get involved in what's going on here because I've seen so much of my family suffer and the people here in Detroit. It's a good city.
Okay. Santa Ana, Costa Rica.
Yeah, exactly.
Costa Mesa,
Orange.
right? Oh, okay. I spent a little time down there. So as far as mayoral candidates, who do you support for mayor?
I went ahead and went ahead with the incumbent this time. So.
Okay. Generally, there seems to be a conflict because most people who support P
don't support him.
Right.
I do know that, but I'm a mixed bag like that.
You're
I'm not
bag.
Republican, I'm not Democrat. I vote for what I think is the right thing.
You're Angela. Candice here who just voted. Candice, can you share with us the issues that you voted for or that you were concerned about?
Well, I did read up on the Proposal P. I think we need some new energy floating around in the city. And that's basically my issues, you know. I think we need some changes.
Okay, so you voted yes on P.
Yes.
You know, we've talked to a few people, and the people who actually did the research voted in favor of P. What do you think about that?
I agree with that.
Miss Taylor.
Miss Taylor?
Yes, sir.
What's the important issues in this campaign, in your mind?
In my mind, the actual Proposal P and, of course, the selection of our mayors, of course, in reference to the city and residents of Detroit.
Okay.
Because, mind you, the city of Detroit had a lot of issues that need to be handled on both ends by a good leader and also by how the management of money is done.
Absolutely. So Proposal P addresses that. Did you vote yes on P then?
I did not.
Oh, so if they propose changes to fix things, and you say we have issues, how do you fix them if you don't change things?
What you do is you change how you call yourself fixing them from the first place. Mind you, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but it's broken.
Right.
So they need to fix it.
Oh, okay, but what I'm saying is Proposal P addresses a lot of the issues that needed to be fixed.
Well,
but you're saying
in reference to the future, I'm not that elderly, but at the same time, I have a lot of elder relatives, and if you want to stop in reference to taking away what they've earned, create another create another resource to fix what needs to be destroyed. Don't take the people that built it up and tear down what they may have in the future.
Now that's what the TV commercials say, right? That's not what they say.
Well, they put it on the advertisements as well, so I just went with what I read. How to say what's written is legal.
Okay, so as far as
I don't have any actual, facts to back it up, but in reference to, like I said, I got over 7 or 8, 9 seniors that are my relatives still working.
Okay, so as far as mayor, then, so who do you support for mayor? I'm actually who you voted for. Who do you support for mayor?
I support both ends, but I have been working with Duggan in the past, and how they say always the past is not always the future. So therefore, future sometimes has to have change.
We have Bailee Madison here with us. We're here to talk to her about her voting today. How do you feel about voting today?
I feel like it's a privilege to vote, so I always take advantage.
Why do you say a privilege? I mean, some people say it's a right. Why a privilege?
Because it's always attempts or seems to be a situation where someone wants to take it away from me. So we win, and we continue to vote. So it is a privilege.
Okay. Now, as far as issues, what's the paramount issue in your mind for this election?
We certainly need a group of people that have our interests at heart, and I'm concerned that maybe if we don't vote the right way, then we could have some challenges.
Okay, when you say a group of people, now that could be city council or just the administration in general?
Administration in general.
Okay. As far as proposal P, this, some people say it's controversial. How did you vote on that?
I voted yes.
Okay. And tell us why.
I hoping that what the information out on it is true, that it's going to benefit us.
Okay. And as far as mayor, who would you support for mayor? Not who you voted for. Who do you support for mayor?
I am not in a position today to say that.
Okay. But you, if you supported proposal P, sound like you're voting for change.
I am voting for change.
Okay. Listen, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. We have Alicia Schufert here to kind of share with us how she voted today. Alicia, tell us what's important to you about this election that's coming up.
Well, the city needs to have steady leadership, and I thought that one way to ensure that occurs is to vote. Voting is extremely important to me, and so that's why I'm participating today.
Okay, that's good. So when you say steady leadership, what do you mean by that?
Well, the people who are established and that they know how things are going in the city already. So so I try to look at those who are already here working for the city.
So what's the most important issue to you? Is it housing, crime, gentrification? What's important?
Well, I want to make sure that our citizens are able to afford housing, and that there's things that might be going on that we need to attend to, that people who are familiar with it that would attend to it,
As far as proposal P, that controversial, some people say, how do you feel about that? How did you vote on that?
I didn't vote for it. Okay. I thought that it would interfere with how things are going.
Housing, okay.
How things are happening right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so did you get enough information to make the, best decision?
Yes. I looked online and read about the proposal.
Okay,
so.
Okay, that was good. As far as a mayor, if you don't mind us asking, who do you support for mayor? Not who you voted for, who do you support?
Well, I thought that Mike Dugan was doing a good job.
Okay. Well, listen, Alicia, thank you very much for your time. We have Riviere Clack with us today. Riviere, can you share with us what's important about voting for you?
My freedom. My grandmother walked to vote. And just knowing what she went through to vote, I make sure I attend primaries, all elections. Okay. It's my heritage. They work, we suffer so long for it. So I'm here to do my part.
Okay, as far as particular issues for the city of Detroit, what's important to you? What's most important?
The safety, our safety, our economy. We have a beautiful downtown, but I need our neighborhoods to be just as beautiful. I live in a wonderful neighborhood, and we've gone through our changes, but I see the progress. Okay. It's a little slow, but I do see it. So if we continue on this path, maybe our city will get to where it needs to be.
Okay. So you're not concerned about gentrification then?
Yes, I am. Okay. You have to excuse me. It really pisses me off sometimes when I go over to the Mack and Bewick neighborhood, or I go over.
That's where I grew up.
Or I go over on Van Dyke and Kercheval.
Yeah.
And I see what a New York company came in, bought this building. You want to charge $1,300 a month, in a neighborhood where the average income is less than 780.
Yeah,
So come on.
Well, people are moving in that can pay that. That's the whole idea of gentrification.
Well, and those people, there were 1,350 residents that moved out of that neighborhood, and 750, I'm so sorry, Caucasian Americans moved into that neighborhood. So they actually priced us out. But here's the thing, those companies that bought those units, they have just as many fines as we do. Wow. A lot of people they came in, they bought groups of homes, they didn't take care of them. Then they turn around and tell the city, okay, we're going to revitalize these homes. Wow. But what the city is going to do, we're not going to pay you any taxes. We want that money back. Wow. No. Now you've got those people there in that Iroquois Burns neighborhood who have been there for years. You're overtaxed, overpriced. Come on, let's get this together.
So how did you vote for Proposal P then?
Proposal P, I'm going to keep that to myself this go round.
Okay.
I'll just put it to this way. If I have a mayor, I think my mayor should be able to choose whom his police chief is.
Okay.
You know, sometimes
they addressed the gentrification in the charter too.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They did address it in the charter. You just
so
go
the
far
police
enough.
chief was more important than the gentrification there.
The police. It was a few other things that were a little bit more important. Gentrification. But here's the thing, and being quite honest, we handed it over. It's not just gentrification if you're handing it over.
When you say we hand,
what I mean by we handed it over is
please.
You're my grandfather and you left me a beautiful home. Let's go into the Mount Elliott Grand Boulevard area. Most of those people and most of the homes that are left over there were left to children by grandparents and parents that have worked in the plan. Now those children didn't take care of it. They didn't pay the taxes.
That is true, but you know the Detroiters were overtaxed to the tune of
quite overtaxed.
800 million, yeah.
But here's the thing. What happened to that education? Nobody told these. Nobody, unless I tapped you on your shoulder and said to you, have you checked out your tax base? Do you know what your value of your property is on this space? Those children didn't learn those things.
But it wasn't just children who lost homes. It was seniors and middle class and middle age.
You have right. Our 2008 took out a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
I lost a few things myself. Pissed off, and it was all tax based.
So who do you vote? Who do you support for mayor?
I'm going back with who I would know. I'm going back with Duggan. I'm really going back with Duggan.
It seems like a conflict. If you say,
he is a conflict, and
no,
I'm not with
if
the
you,
person.
If you say you don't favor the gentrification that's going on,
so that means that I should have a black mayor. Is that what you're saying to me? That my city should be ran by a African American person?
No. What I'm saying is that people say that the land bank policies that Duggan was a major part of, the fact that they overtax people to the tune of $800 million, and they're not trying to redress that. That's not a racial. That's an economic issue.
It could be.
No, it is.
You gentlemen have a great idea.
Okay, thank you.
I think I got it.
Stand by.
Hi, this is Tim Moore reporting for Detroit IPTV. We just conducted an exit poll from the east side and the west side of the city, and from the people that we talked to, Proposal P is slightly ahead at this time. Now, we talked to one person that voted absentee, and they said they got phone calls to tell them to vote no, and that's exactly what they did. One thing we did notice is that the people who didn't have very much information, especially about Proposal P, when they were unsure, they voted no, and they tended to vote for Duggan. So I don't know how those things are connected, but the people who didn't have a lot of information on Proposal P, they voted no, and they tended to support Mike Duggan. So we'll certainly be monitoring these polls, and we'll bring you more information as we talk to the winners of the campaigns and the issues that are important to you. Also, from the people that we talked to, the people who did the research, did their due diligence, tended to vote in favor of proposal P. So they voted yes. So the people who did the research, they voted yes. The people who were uninformed, they tended to vote no, and they tended to support Mike Duggan. I don't know the connection, but there you have it. Tune in to DetroitIPTV.com.